Good morning, Cornerstone. I'm going to be giving your inspirational vitamin on this lovely Monday. I'm going to be reading from Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 7 through 11. And it says this: The Lord had his heart set on you and chose you, not because you were more numerous than all peoples, for you were the fewest of all peoples, but because the Lord loved you and kept the oath he swore to your fathers. He brought you out with a strong hand and redeemed you from the place of slavery, from the power of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Know that the Lord your God is God, the faithful God who keeps his gracious covenant loyalty for 1,000 generations with those who love him and keep his commands. But he directly pays back and destroys those who hate him. He will not hesitate to pay back directly the one who hates him. So keep the command, the statutes and ordinances that I am giving you to follow today. Pardon me. Among all the truths that Moses wanted to highlight to the people of Israel before they enter the promised land, one thing that really stands out is that God is faithful. In the text that we read today, Moses says, Your God is God, right? He is faithful. So, we can trust that He is faithful. Being perfect, God does not waver, He doesn't vacillate. His power doesn't change with the ups and downs that we go through in terms of our human experience. He brings things to their fruition, right? When he sets out a plan that he's determined, he, he carries it on to completion. I think about over in Psalm 119, it says, His faithfulness is for all generations, right? Like God has this faithfulness that is a constant. Um, his being, he's constant and consistent, and how he acts, he's constant and consistent. Um, and for us who are often very frail, weak, inconsistent, unsure, insecure, it is so encouraging to have a God that is that way. It's interesting when you think about children, they immediately will point out, I have two daughters, and I've definitely had times where I've heard, you know how it is with second kid syndrome. You're just a little bit less cautious. You've learned from having your first kid, and so there's sometimes things that you let the second kid do that you didn't let the older kid, and it does not go, without being brought to our attention. How come Noelle got to watch PG-13 movies, before she was 13? Chloe would say, I didn't, that didn't happen for me. Or, is Noelle going to get a phone at a certain age before I got a phone? And, kids totally like to point out when they're feeling like there's differences in treatment. Um, um, but, I love how God points out with the Israelites here that in a sense, he did give them different treatment. He said, You weren't the most numerous of all people. You weren't the strongest, best looking, the whatever. Matter of fact, you were the fewest, you were the least. And he said, I chose you because I loved you. And I made this promise to your forefathers, and I keep my promise. Again, back to this idea that God is faithful. And so today, my encouragement for all of us is to know that, we can always give thanks to God because we have victory through Jesus Christ. He has overcome the world. And because God is so faithful, he's faithful to his promises. None of his promises fall flat or go unkept. And I just want to encourage you today, the same words, that Moses said, your God, our God, for those of us who are followers of Jesus Christ, our God is the true God and he is faithful. And so think about that today as you go about your Monday. I love you, Cornerstone. That's your inspirational vitamin. And I hope you have a great week. Love you.